For the last 71 years, we've watched some of the greatest moments in sports history.
The Celtics now lead 45. And West with a long jump. Russell deflected it and keeps it. Beautiful play. Feeds off quickly to Havlicek. Has been guarded by Krebs, who is holding back. Goes up. They jump long. Cousy throws it high in the air. And the Boston Celtics are the world champion. Oscar Robertson throws to Kareem. 7 seconds. Winkle. The guy up. Kareem with a big pressure shot.
Hayes setting something up with Larry Bird, who gets it low. Puts a move on Byron Scott. What a move by Larry Bird. Malone is doubled. They swat at it and steal it. Here comes Chicago. 17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. It's Kobe again. Portland in 3 timeouts. The Lakers have 2. Bryant to Shaq.
This fall, I'm gonna take my time to South Beach. Join Miami.
James pulls up, puts it in. 4-point lead. 35 for LeBron James. Timeout San Antonio.
It's off the runner, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
But what if we went all the way back and redid it? Today is the year 1991. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of NBA 2K History Resimulation on 2K23. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. If you are, hit that like button, subscribe. If you guys are new to the channel, it helps out the channel. Commenting, liking, all those things gets these videos shared, and gets more eyes on these videos and this channel. And that way, maybe one day we can do this full time, and this series can be 100 times better. That's the goal, right? That's the goal. So anyways, hope you guys are enjoying the series. Hope you guys are having a great day. I'm having a great day because I mean, it's backwards, so you guys can't really see it, but I got my NBA championship Denver Nuggets gear. Very excited. These came in late because, well, my friend bought them for me because he stupidly bet against the Nuggets. So, I mean, that's what happens, right? But anyways, let's get to it. If you guys missed the last episode, we have a new dynasty here. We have the Golden State Warriors winning 3 straight NBA titles, a different Finals MVP in every single one of them, which was pretty funny. Yeah, this seems really good. They are getting older though, right? David Thompson, Bernard King, even Maurice Cheeks, they're all in their 30s. They do though have Clyde Drexler, who's 28 now. So they have a guy, right? They have a star, a superstar that they can hopefully have him lead the way for these next couple of years, while Bernard King and David Thompson kind of regress. But we'll see. Michael Jordan won his first regular season MVP. No playoff success, got to the Western Conference Finals once, and then Magic Johnson left San Antonio, went to Atlanta where he won his 5th regular season MVP. So a lot happened last episode. Let's get on to the 1991 offseason though. Player retirements. We've got a list. And like I said, it's going to be really difficult for a lot of these players to get all their stats and stuff. So we're just going to have to kind of remember. I will put them in there and as accurately as I can. But it is going to take me a little bit longer because I kind of have to do both sides of it. So Bob McAdoo, Bobby Jones, Jamal Wilkes, Chuck Robinson, Brian Winters, Scott Wedman, Daryl Dawkins, Alvin Adams. Wow, a lot of guys. Otis Birdsong, Michael Ray Richardson. They all retire. Otis Smith retires. So a lot of retirements. Wait, Otis Smith. Wait, is he even real? Probably not. I don't know why I said Otis Smith like he was a big deal. Anyways, Bob McAdoo retires. McAdoo had a really good career. I don't remember if he won anything. I I don't really. It's hard because I can't. I mean, he won a regular season MVP. Jamal Wilkes, I think, will. Because he won. I want to say he won. He won a couple, right? Because I don't think he was always with Boston. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I have no idea. I can't remember. But anyways, those are your player retirements. Bob McAdoo for sure is in the Hall of Fame. Historical changes, just one. The Orlando Magic changed uniforms and their floor. So nothing too exciting this year. On to the NBA draft lottery. I'm just going to start skipping these because whatever. But the Spurs had the best odds, tied for the best odds. They dropped to 4. Mavs with the number 1 pick. Rockets with the number 2 pick. Phoenix at 3. Spurs at 4. Lakers at 5. So those are your top 5. We will see how the NBA draft goes. I don't think this is a really big year draft-wise either. There was kind of a little bit of a drought, I would say. But for the first pick with the 1991 NBA draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Larry Johnson. So Larry Johnson goes number 1. Number 2 is Chris Gatling. At 3, Dale Davis. That was really difficult to say. Kenny Anderson goes to San Antonio. Greg Anthony goes to the Lakers. There is an offer here. So Jazz are receiving Hinson and a 1992 first round pick top 3 protected. The Magic are receiving this pick and Hodges. So the Orlando Magic will select Victor Alexander. The Detroit Pistons select Dikembe Mutombo. Terrell Brandon goes to Charlotte. Mark Mackin, I don't know. He goes to the Nets. Billy Owens to the Bullets. And we'll go ahead and simulate the rest here. Any other big names here? Steve Smith to Orlando. Any other big ones? Luke Longley to the Hornets. Let's see. Greg Sutton to Cleveland. But yeah, I don't know. Not a great draft again. So free agency is here in 1991. Cooper has not been signed just yet, so we're still waiting on a couple of guys, on a lot of guys actually, a lot of 80 overall, low 80s to get drafted. But we've got two huge changes actually. Larry Bird is leaving the New Jersey Nets. He spent 3, 4, 5, 6 years in New Jersey, and he is headed to Charlotte. Okay, there must be something in Charlotte he really likes. Isaiah Thomas is leaving Houston, averaging nearly 30 points per game last year, and he's headed to Philly. So 30-year-old Isaiah Thomas headed to the team who just lost in the NBA Finals. Scottie Pippen is headed or staying in LA. James Worthy stays in Denver. Moncrief stays in Indiana. Cheek stays in Golden State. Theus heads to Miami, so he leaves Charlotte. Cummins stays in Cleveland, so a couple of big moves there. Kenny Smith stays in Chicago. David Robinson stays in Portland. He was a restricted free agent, so nothing too crazy there. He's up to an 85 overall. David Thompson. David Thompson's going to Boston. He's leaving Golden State, so Golden State definitely gets worse. So David Thompson, who's 36 years old, he's gone, which is interesting. Horace Grant stays in Denver. Denver has a sneaky good team. Reggie Miller, not very good. He's only an 83 overall. I don't think his potential. He might have. If you guys didn't know, 2K does a bust boom system, and then there's the average. So like, if you set someone to a 90 overall potential, their bust could actually be like an 82, and their boom could be like a 98, right? It looks like Reggie Miller, even though he's a good player, he ended up kind of being a bust, unfortunately, for him. But hey, you never know. He could be a really good player as like the 3rd or 4th guy, right? So we'll see how that happens down the line. Oh, cool. We are headed to the next era, the 1990s. I love that animation. It's so cool. The Raptors and Grizzlies will join. The G League starts in 2001. The 90s look and all that jazz. So cool. I love how they do that. Like if they can add 60s and 70s to 2K24, that would be awesome. That'd be really cool. The NBA All-Star break is here for the 91-92 season, and the Western Conference wins the All-Star game 121-107. Charles Barkley, he's going to win the All-Star MVP. Karl Malone had a good game, 17-3-3. He's averaging 24, nearly 11 boards, nearly 7 assists on that Portland team. Clyde at 15. He's averaging 31, 6, and 8. Clyde might be winning his first regular season MVP. Bernard King's having a good year. Mike is 21, 8, and 7. He's not scoring a lot. He's really efficient. 59, 46, and 90. Okay, that team just must be really good. I don't know. Karl Malone's leading that team in scoring. Isaiah with 14 and 6. Moncrief with 14. Akeem with 10 and 8. Magic with 12, 3, and 4. But Charles Barkley, All-Star MVP. The 1991-92 NBA season is over, and like we thought, Clyde Drexler wins his first regular season MVP. That goes with his one NBA title, or no, two. Wait. Yeah, 2 NBA titles. So Clyde's looking pretty good. No finals MVPs, but Rookie of the Year, regular season MVP, 2 titles. Not bad. Rookie of the Year is Billy Owens, averaging 20.6 boards and 2 assists. Tim Hardaway is your 6th man of the year. And Akeem Olajuwon wins his 4th DPOY. D Brown wins Most Improved, averaging 8 points. Hell of a year. All right, All NBA first team is Clyde, Magic, Bird, Kellogg, and Ralph Sampson. All NBA second team is John Bagley, Michael Jordan, Karl Malone, Kevin McHale, and Akeem Olajuwon. All NBA third team, Jay Humphries, Isaiah Thomas, Bernard King, Scottie Pippen, and Patrick Ewing. All defensive first team got Michael, Magic, Scottie, McHale, and Olajuwon. That's a crazy 5. All defensive second team got Maurice Cheeks, John Bagley, Larry Nance, Bernard King, and Ralph Sampson. On to the NBA playoffs. NBA standings, Golden State with the best record in the West, but Portland only won 5 less games. Denver was the 3rd seed, Minnesota the 4th seed. And then in the East, Cleveland with the 1 seed. I believe that's Hakeem, right? And who joined? Someone joined Cleveland. Was that Dominique? I think Dominique is in Cleveland. Oh, by the way, I forgot to show you guys all the rosters. I'll do that. Philadelphia is the number 2 seed with not Ben. What am I talking about, man? I'm losing my mind today. Len Bias, not Ben. I put it together. Boston, the 3rd seed. Miami is the 4th seed. And then the worst teams in the league were the New Jersey Nets, San Antonio Spurs, Detroit Pistons, Utah Jazz, Indiana Pacers. All these teams, man, they're going to have a chance. They're going to have a chance at Shaq, and it's going to be awesome. All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and look at the season stats, our league leaders real quick. Clyde led the league in scoring. Last year was Magic. Clyde gets it this year. Ralph was 2nd again. Magic was 3rd. John Bagley, man, he's an 87 overall. He's having a really, really good career. Rebounds per game was Ralph. Assists per game was Magic. Steals per game was Maurice Cheeks. Blocks per game was Hakeem Olajuwon. So, real quick, I'll show you guys the rosters. There were some trades actually too, like some basic trades. But real quick, I'll show you guys the rosters. This one is interesting, obviously, with Michael, Malone, Floyd, and David Robinson. But they need Robinson to get better. Like, I don't know what his potential... I mean, it's A-. I don't think he's reached his potential. That would probably be high 80s, low 90s. So, I don't know. It's just so weird that he's just not very good. He's 26. But anyways, here's Golden State. Miami with Kevin McHale. Charlotte with Bird. But anyways, I'll just kind of go through it. You guys can pause for the teams that you guys are kind of looking for if you guys want to see. Or there's a feature on YouTube where you can just slow down. I'm going to sound funny if you do that. But, you know, if you slow the speed down, you guys will be able to kind of see everyone. So there you go. Let's go ahead and simulate the first round here. The New York Knicks, LA Clippers, Phoenix Suns, Seattle Supersonics, Washington Bullets, Dallas Mavericks, Chicago Bulls are all eliminated. So we've got Golden State versus Minnesota on, how do I do this? On Golden State, starting 5 is Cheeks, Drexler, King, Bonner, and Raja. I don't know. For the Timberwolves, Mark Price, Hawkins, Reggie Williams, Tisdale, Rick Smits, and Mitch Richmond, who has been in the league for a bit. For some reason, I thought he was just drafted, but he wasn't. Robert Parrish is on that team. For Portland and Denver, Portland has Sleepy Floyd, Michael, Chuck Person, Karl Malone, David Robinson, who's still at an 85. You knew that? Michael Adams, Joe Dumars, James Worthy, Charles Barkley, Brad Daughtry, and Horace Grant on the Denver Nuggets with Doc Rivers, Herb Williams on that team. Cleveland's the 1 seed in the East. They've got Knight. I don't know if this is a real person. He might be. No idea. Jim Paxson, Dominique, Terry Cummings, Hakeem Olajuwon, Cliff Levinson. And then for the Atlanta Hawks, got Magic, Tony Campbell, Purvis Short, Randy White, and Patrick Ewing. So, and then for Philly, we got that's right. Philly got Isaiah. That's right. So it's Isaiah and Len Bias on the same team. Wow. That's a cool duo. All right. Well, there's that duo. And then Boston with Kevin Johnson, David Thompson, Mark Aguirre, Cliff Robinson. This team, I don't know. It should be Philly and... I don't know. This Cleveland-Atlanta series is really interesting. But here we go. On to the conference finals. The Atlanta Hawks, the Portland Trailblazers, the Boston Celtics, and the Golden State Warriors have been eliminated. Minnesota beats Golden State. The MVP loses. Wow. And Mike lost to Denver in 7. He lost to Charles Barkley. Goodness. Cleveland and Philly are in the conference finals as well. So Isaiah and Len Bias versus Dominique and Hakeem Olajuwon. That's a hell of a series too. But Denver, remember, Denver won in 1988. So it's been 4 years since they won it, and they beat Cleveland. So we'll see if there's a rematch between Denver and Cleveland this year. Game number 1 goes to Denver and Cleveland. Game number 2 goes to Denver and Philly. Game 3 goes to Denver and Cleveland. Game 4, Minnesota gets a game. Philly ties up that series at 2. Philly takes a 3-2 series lead. Minnesota wins another one. The Cleveland Cavaliers have been eliminated. Len Bias and Isaiah Thomas are headed to the NBA Finals. Minnesota has forced a Game 7. Oh my gosh. Did Denver just blow a 3-0 lead? Well, that's not going to be written in the history. We're just going to conveniently forget about that one. It's the Minnesota Timberwolves, the 4 seed in the West. Mark Price, Richie Hawkins, Reggie Williams, Wayman Tisdale, Rick Smits, Mitch Richmond, Anthony Mason, Robert Parrish. All right. Against Philly with Isaiah Thomas, Barrows, Len Bias, Stepanovic, LaSalle Thompson. That's a good team. But man, I'm kind of stunned. All right, well, on to game 1. Philly is up by 10 after 1. And oh my gosh, Minnesota has taken the lead. They are blowing out the Philadelphia 76ers in Philly. What is this run by Minnesota? Game 1 goes to Minnesota. Mark Price with 28 and 8. He's averaging 19 and 8 in the playoffs. Richmond's averaging 9, 2 and 2. Rick Smith, how in the world? Len Bias with 34. Thomas with 24 and 10. I'm stunned. Philly, for game 2, leads it by 7 after 1. At the half, they only lead it by 3. Minnesota has taken the lead. Back and forth we go into the 4th quarter. Now less than 3 minutes to go. Philly has a 7-point lead. And looks like Philly will win this one. All right, so Philly is going to win game 2, 120-110. Isaiah with 34 and 11. Len Bias with 21 and 6. Richmond at 27 and 6. And we are headed to Minnesota for game number 3. And after 1, Minnesota led by 9. Philly has come back and taken the lead into the 4th quarter. 42 seconds left. Philly's going to win 115-89. Len Bias with 32, 10 and 3. Thompson had 27 and 15. Thomas had 13 and 11. And for Minnesota, Hawkins had 18 and 7. Parrish had 14. Not a great game from their stars. So Philly takes a 2-1 lead. They get back home court advantage. And now for game 4, Minnesota with a 7-point lead after 1, a 5-point lead at the half. And now they're blowing out. Well, they were. And a big fourth quarter from Philly has got them back in the game. But can they make it close here? They're still down by 10. Yeah, no, they're not coming back. Minnesota is going to win once again, 115 to 104. Bias had 31, 7 and 4. Thomas had 25 and 15. Was not enough. As Hawkins with 21. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 guys in double figures. 2 at 9 and 8. It's just their team, man. That they just have a deep team. This is like, oh, I simulated the damn game. Game 5 goes to Philly. Isaiah with 37 and 10, 4 steals. Len Bice had 34, 8 and 6. So those 2 stars carrying. Richmond had 37, 14 for Hawkins, 14 for Mason. And now on to I'm so mad at myself right now. I'm so mad. The Philadelphia 76ers are NBA champions for the first time in years. It's been a long time since they won it with Wilt. They were there in 66, won it in 65. They were there last year, obviously, and lost to the Warriors. But the 76ers are NBA champions. Isaiah Thomas wins Finals MVP, 25 and 11. I apologize, we didn't jump into a game. My fault. I think my controller is just hitting down twice or something. I don't know. I'm just moving too fast or something. But Isaiah Thomas with a hell of a series, and the 76ers are NBA champions. So I just realized my mic has been turned off this whole time. So we're in the 1992 NBA draft. I'll go over the other things previously, and I'll go over the crazy lottery that just happened. I am so mad. Okay, this episode has been kind of a mess for me on my end. The 1992 NBA draft this year, and with the number 1 overall pick, the Indiana Pacers won the lottery, and they select, he's in Orlando jersey. They select Shaquille O'Neal with the number 1 overall pick. Now at 2 is the Orlando Magic. Now here's what happened. Orlando had the 7th best odds to win the lottery, but they had traded their pick to the Utah Jazz, but it was top 3 protected. They got lucky and they hit. They got a top 3 pick, ended up being 2, almost got Shaq, but they fall to 2, or not fall, they move up to 2. Utah will get Orlando's pick next year, which actually might have worked out for, I guess it kind of worked out for Utah. I don't know. Utah had the 4th pick, or 4th best odds. They moved down, I believe, to 6 or 7. So that's the craziness that happened in the draft lottery. And Alonzo Mourning will head to Orlando with the number 2 overall pick. The Detroit Pistons select LaFonso Ellis. At 4, the New Jersey Nets select Tom Gugliotta. I don't know. Jim Jackson to the Spurs. Latrell Sprewell to the Utah Jazz. Robert Horry to the Sacramento Kings. Christian Laettner to the LA Lakers. Bryant Stith to the Bucks. Matt Geiger to the Houston Rockets. PJ Brown to the Charlotte Hornets. And then let's go ahead and simulate the rest here. As let's see, Clarence Witherspoon to the Bullets. Let's see, Doug Christie to the Timberwolves. What else? Any other big ones? Popeye Jones to the Warriors in the second last pick. And then in the second round, John Barry to the Spurs. Juwan Williamson to the Jazz. So, yeah, there you go. There is the 1992 NBA draft. Free agency here in 1992. Mitch Richmond still hasn't signed. Otis Thorpe still hasn't signed. Sam Perkins. So, a few guys haven't signed yet. Clyde returned. No! Clyde left. Wow. It must have not worked out. I saw they actually had an offer because I was curious, so I looked. And he had an offer from Golden State, and he declined it. And he went to Houston. Wow. Okay, so Clyde heads to Houston. Karl Malone stays in Portland. Barkley stays in Denver. John Stockton leaves Phoenix. He's headed to Orlando to join Alonzo Mourning. Mark Aguirre stays in Boston. Joe Dumars stays in Denver. Floyd stays in Portland. Bernard King stays with Golden State. So, yeah, an interesting offseason. I wonder who's on that Rockets team. Because Clyde now headed to Houston. Wow, Houston had Isaiah, and they lost Isaiah. So I wonder who else is in Isaiah or is in Houston now. The 1992-93 All-Star break is here. The West wins again, 107-92. Karl Malone 18-8-6. So he'll win All-Star Game MVP. Clyde was 17-5. Worthy was 17-5. Bernard King with 14. Isaiah with 19-3 in the East. 16-9 for Akeem. Bird had 14. But yeah, we'll give the All-Star MVP to Karl Malone. The 1992-93 NBA season is now complete. Magic Johnson wins the regular season MVP once again. That would give him 6 regular season MVPs. That ties Dr. J for the most regular season MVPs given out. He won 3 in a row once. Who else has won 3 in a row? Havlicek, and that's it, right? Yeah, they're the only 2. And Havlicek won 4 in a row. So Magic wins another MVP. He is 33 years old. His third year in Atlanta, averaging 28-7 and nearly 13 assists. Shaq wins Rookie of the Year, averaging 18, 9, and 2 blocks per game. Lionel Simmons wins 6th Man of the Year. Akeem wins another DPOY. That's his 5th and his 3rd straight, his 4th in 5 years. Scott Skiles is the most improved player. Magic, Michael, Karl Malone, Bernard King, and Akeem Olajuwon, all NBA first team. Second team is Humphreys, Clyde, Clark Kellogg, Kevin McHale, and Ralph Sampson. All NBA third team is Stockton, Isaiah, Len Bias, Larry Bird, Dino Raja. I have no idea who this is. Never heard of him. All defensive first team, Michael, Magic, Kevin McHale, Scottie Pippen, and Hakeem Olajuwon. All defensive second team is Clyde, Ron Harper, Karl Malone, Bernard King, and Ralph Sampson. So let's go ahead and look at the NBA standings here. Oh, you know what? I was supposed to show you guys power rankings. I'll do that next episode. Denver had the best record in the West by 13 games. Houston was second. Lakers were third. In the East, Boston with the best record. Philly was second. Cleveland is third. Chicago is fourth. Worst teams in the league are San Antonio, Sacramento, Detroit, Phoenix, New Jersey. So let's go ahead and look at the league leaders this season. Magic led the league in scoring for the second time in his career. Chambers and Humphreys were second and third. And then rebounds per game, Charles Oakley led the league in rebounds. Magic led the league in assists. Gary Payton led the league in steals, and blocks per game was Akeem Olajuwon. So on to the NBA playoffs, and we'll go ahead and get through the first round here. The Bullets, the Bulls, the Lakers, the Hawks, the Knicks, the Supersonics, and the Clippers and the Mavs have all been eliminated. So in the West, we got Denver versus Minnesota, Houston versus Golden State. Houston with Clyde now, Xavier McDaniel, Clement Johnson. Okay. Golden State as the 6th seed. They have Maurice Cheeks, Orlando Blackman, Bernard King, Bon Raja, Michael Thompson. That's Clay's dad, right? Anyways, Golden State, they're kind of a shell of themselves, but that veteran leadership, they beat the Lakers, right? Boston as the 1 seed plays Miami, and Philly plays Cleveland. So on to the conference finals here. The Warriors are eliminated. The Philadelphia 76ers are eliminated. The Celtics are eliminated as well. So Philly will not be going to a 3rd straight NBA finals. They will not be going back-to-back. We got Cleveland versus Miami. Mark Jackson, Jim Paxson, Dominique, Terry Cummings, and Hakeem Olajuwon versus Miami with Ron Harper, Reggie Theus, Craig Elo, Kevin McHale, and Jack Sikma. And then for the West is Denver with Doc Rivers, Joe Dumars, James Worthy, Charles Barkley, and Brad Daughtry, and Horace Grant off the bench. Versus Houston with John Bagley, Clyde, Xavier McDaniel, Barry, and Clement Johnson. So here we go. Game number 1 goes to Houston and Cleveland. Game 2 goes to Denver and Cleveland. Game 3 goes to Houston, who takes a 2-1 lead. Cleveland has a 3-0 lead over Miami. Miami wins the game. Denver ties up their series. Denver takes a 3-2 series lead. Cleveland is on to the NBA Finals, and the Denver Nuggets are to the NBA Finals, and I'll repeat from 1988. It's the Denver Nuggets versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Last time this happened, in 88, the Nuggets won in 6 games. Charles Barkley had 1 Finals MVP that year. So here is the starting 5. It'll be Worthy and Barkley versus Dominique and Akeem. Can Akeem get his first? Can Dominique get his first? Remember, he left Utah with Clyde. They were on the same team. They both left. Clyde went on to win a couple of championships with Golden State. Hakeem has, or Dominique, was able to get to the conference finals, and that's as far as I think he's gotten with this Cleveland team. But anyways, on to the NBA Finals. Game 1 is in Denver. Denver with the best record in the league, trailed by 7 after a high-scoring game, down by 8 at the half. Cleveland is in full control here in game number 1, and they win at 127-109. Dumars with 23 and 8. Hakeem Olajuwon 35, 19 and 4. Dominique had 25 and 13, but man, Olajuwon had 4 blocks too. What a game from him. Game number 2, once again in Denver, and back and forth in the first. Denver up by 6 after 1, up by 11 at the half, and they are now only up by 8 with a minute and 25 to go. They were up by more, but they will hold on to win 110-103. Barkley with 27 and 9. Worthy with 19, 10 and 8. 17, 6 and 8 for Dumars. Wilkins had 34 and 7. Akeem had 25 and 13 in the loss. So game 3, back to Cleveland. And after 1, Cleveland up by 5. At the half, up by 14. And they're up by 19 after headed into the 4th. Now up by 20. And that will do it. The Cavs win at 121-105. Barkley with 28 and 11. Terry Cummings with 35 and 6. Hakeem Olajuwon with 26, 24 assists, 6 steals, and 2 blocks. Goodness gracious. 21, 8 and 7 for Dominique as well. And on to a game number 4 in Cleveland. The Cavs trying to take a 3-1 series lead, up by 1 after 1. Now Denver has a 10-point lead at the half. Cleveland has cut the lead down to 1, though, entering the 4th quarter. 42 seconds to go. Cleveland down by 3. Can they make this closer? Nope, down by 4. And that will do it. The Denver Nuggets have tied up the series. Worthy with 24, 9 and 3. Barkley with 17, 6 and 3. Hakeem at 28 and 13 in the loss. So we have a tied series at 2. Game 5 in Denver. First quarter, it was a tie, 20-20. At the half, Denver with a 4-point lead. Now a 12-point lead into the 4th quarter. And with 3 minutes to go, they have a 17-point lead. And that will do it. The Denver Nuggets win Game 5, 109-96. Barkley with 25 and 12. Dacho with 19, 7 and 5. Cummings with 23 and 8. And we are headed to Game 6 in Cleveland. Denver with an early lead. They lead it by 11 after 1. And now by 21. Goodness gracious. What a first half from Denver. And yeah, they're going to blow them out. The Denver Nuggets. Wait, was this the final game? It was! Oh, I should have jumped in. I'm having a video today. Oof. All right, it's been a rough one, guys. 127-91. The Denver Nuggets win the NBA Finals. 35 and 10 from Worthy. Barkley with 21, 10 and 9. A Soundboard triple-double. If you guys don't know what that is, look it up. 3 steals, 2 blocks. Dachi with 21, 7 and 4. Dominique with 22 and 4. Hakeem with 18 and 8 and 4 blocks in the loss. But for the second time in franchise history, the Denver Nuggets are NBA champions. James Worthy wins Finals MVP. 22 points per game, 9 boards, 5 assists, and a steal. Charles Barkley and James Worthy getting it done in Denver. It was 5 years apart, but they win another NBA championship. On to the 1993 offseason player retirements. We've got some big ones. David Thompson is retiring. The 4-time NBA or 5-time NBA champion, however many times, 6 times, I have no idea. A lot of times. You guys can go get caught up in the Hall of Fame list where I'll have it there. But he won 6 times actually, I think. He won it 3 with the Nets, and then he won 3 times with the Warriors. He's a 2-time Finals MVP. I mean, he's incredible. Incredible player. A heck of a career. Robert Parrish, he retires. Brad Davis, Moses Malone, Bernard King retires. Bernard King, 6 NBA titles, and he had 3 Finals MVPs. So Jack Sikma was on that New Jersey Nets team, or no, not Nets, San Antonio Spurs team with Magic and Kareem. So he won those titles. So yeah, a lot of big names retiring this year. Historical changes: the Bucks changed their logo. So do the Mavericks, and so do the Denver Nuggets. The Skyline jerseys are sadly gone, unfortunately. Win a title, win 2 titles in the rainbow jerseys. And moving on to probably the ugliest Nuggets jerseys of all time. So that's exciting. On to the NBA draft lottery. And who has the best odds here? The San Antonio Spurs, the Kings, the Suns, and the Detroit Pistons all have the best odds at 18.2%. The Jazz have Orlando's pick, and now it's theirs. So we'll see if they can move up. Man, the Blazers missed the playoffs. Mike, look, man, I don't know why 2K does this, but Michael Jordan sucks in 2K resims. Like, he is horrible. I don't get it. I wish they made him better, but he just sucks in them. It's really disappointing. I mean, it allows new things to happen, I guess, but I mean, would like one of the greatest players of all time to be really good. It'd be nice, but I guess not. So anyways, we'll go ahead and do we want to skip it? Well, we'll watch it. There we go. At 11, the Indiana Pacers will keep their pick. At 10, the Utah Jazz will keep their pick. And that was via Orlando, by the way. At 9, the Utah Jazz will also keep their pick, so they have 9 and 10. At 8, the Portland Trailblazers will stay at 8. The Charlotte Hornets will stay at 7. At 6, the Milwaukee Bucks have moved up. The Phoenix Suns dropped to number 6. The Bucks are in the top 4. The Kings will stay at 5. At 4, the San Antonio Spurs will stay. So the Bucks have moved into the top 3 now. The Detroit Pistons have moved up. The Milwaukee Bucks have taken the 3rd overall pick. So it's between the Pistons, who are at 2. I don't know who's left. I forget. Who's at 1? The New Jersey Nets will have the number 1 pick in the 1993 NBA draft. So here in the 1993 NBA draft, and with the number 1 overall pick, the New Jersey Nets select Penny Hardaway. So he is headed to New Jersey. At 2, Chris Webber goes to Detroit. At 3, Vin Baker will head to Milwaukee. At 4, Isaiah Ryder goes to San Antonio. Allen Houston to the Kings. Jamal Mashburn to Phoenix. Nick Van Exel to Charlotte. Here we have a trade. The Portland Trailblazers will receive Donaldson and Kersey, and they would trade their pick away and also their 1997 NBA draft pick. Interesting. So they're grabbing depth. Sean Bradley goes to Detroit. Rodney Rogers heads to Utah. Lucius Harris is headed to Utah. And Bobby Hurley to Indiana. And we'll go ahead and sim the rest here. See if any other big names. Brian Russell headed to the Clippers. Sam Cassell headed to the Lakers. Any other big names? The Nuggets take Corey Blunt. Let's see, Ross Hill to San Antonio. But yeah, not a crazy draft. So there you go. That is the 1993 NBA draft. Here in 1993 for free agency, we've got a lot of players actually still haven't signed yet. They'll just sign 1-year deals. Manute Bol is in there. And now to the signings. Holy crap. Okay, so Michael Jordan's on the move to Charlotte. What? Okay, so Portland loses out on Michael Jordan. They couldn't build a team around him. Well, I think they built a really good team, but it just didn't work out in Portland. He averaged 25, 7, and 7 last year, 2.4 steals, 2.3 blocks, a lot of turnovers, shot the ball amazingly. But Michael leaves and heads to Charlotte. Magic will head to Orlando. So he leaves Atlanta. He didn't like Atlanta. He goes to Orlando. Hakeem Olajuwon and Dominic stay in Cleveland. Patrick Ewing stays in Atlanta. Chris Mullins to New York. Sean Kemp will stay in Chicago. But, I mean, we've got to look at the Charlotte team. Because didn't they get someone last year? Wait. Was that Bird? Hold on. The Charlotte Hornets have... Well, Magic and Stockton are on the same team, by the way. That's with Alonzo Mourning. That's a weird one. Yeah, Bird is 35 years old. He's a 91 overall. Okay. Don't love that one for Charlotte. I mean, or Michael. I love it for Charlotte, I guess, but... All right, weird free agency. The 93-94 All-Star game is here. Clyde with 22-4 as the East wins 123-109. 13-10 and 7 from Karl Malone. But the star of the show was the new man in the East, Michael Jordan, with 30 points, 3 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks. He was a monster. Him, Magic, and Bird all on the same squad in the East. Woo! All right, I see why they won. How's Michael doing? He's doing pretty good. 31, 8, and 7. Okay, I think it was Portland, guys. Look, Portland has this thing about them. And that's just where stars go to never do anything, I guess. Michael's in Charlotte, the team that he ends up owning, which is awesome. And he's dominating. Pretty cool. Magic in Orlando is averaging 26, 6, and 9. Stockton's there too, so a lot of his assists are being taken away. And then Michael's teammate, Larry Bird, 24, 6, and 9. He's still really good at 36 years old. So, yeah, I wonder how Charlotte's doing. I mean, I guess we could check real quick because I'm curious. They are in the East, and they are not good. They're the 9 seed. Okay, well, there goes that. The 1993-1994 NBA season is over, and Michael Jordan wins another regular season MVP. That is his second regular season MVP. He averaged 31, 8, and 7, 2 steals, and 2 blocks per game. Shot nearly 60% from the field, 90% from the free throw line, and 44% from 3. Penny Hardaway was 17 and 6. Chris Morris is the 6th man of the year. DPOY is Michael Jordan. So a huge award year for MJ. Shaq wins most improved, 21, 11, and 2.7 blocks per game. All NBA first team is Michael, Magic, Kevin McHale, Sean Kemp, and Ralph Sampson. Second team is Gary Payton, Terry Porter, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Third team is Ron Harper, Clyde Drexler, Clark Kellogg, Karl Malone, and Shaq. All defensive first team is Michael, Magic, Kevin McHale, Scotty, and Ralph Sampson. Second team is Ron Harper, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Larry Nance, and Hakeem Olajuwon. And let's go ahead and look at the standings. The Denver Nuggets, the 1 seed in the East. Boston, the 1 seed. Or Denver, the 1 seed in the West. Excuse me. Boston, the number 1 seed in the East. Charlotte did not make the playoffs. And they gave Michael MVP. Okay. All right. Boston, the 1 seed. I mean, just a good Mike Aguirre is there. It's so weird. Like, the superstars aren't winning. We're just in a weird, like, I mean, I guess Barkley is, right? Barkley and Worthy are, but I don't know. Gary Payton in Dallas had a really good year. They have Larry Johnson, Stacey King. This Dallas team is pretty good. But yeah, very, very bizarre. Let's look at the league leaders here. And the league leader in scoring was MJ. Rebounds per game was Oakley. Assists per game was Stockton. Steals per game was Gary Payton. And blocks per game was Ralph Sampson. So on to round number 1. So Michael was the MVP, the scoring leader, the defensive player of the year, and he missed the playoffs. It's a little irritating. The Lakers are eliminated. The Knicks, Bulls, Bullets, Jazz, Clippers, Bucks are all eliminated. We've got the Nuggets versus the Rockets, Dallas versus Phoenix, Boston versus Philly, and Atlanta versus Cleveland. On to the conference finals. The Sixers, Suns, Rockets, and Cavs have been eliminated. So we will not get a repeat of Denver versus Cleveland. We've got Denver versus Dallas. Gary Payton and Larry Johnson versus Barkley and Worley. Boston versus Atlanta, who has Patrick Ewing on that team. Mitch Richmond, Ron Harper on that team. No Magic, though. And here we go. Game 1 goes to Dallas and Boston. Game 2 goes to Dallas and Boston. Game 3 goes to Denver and Atlanta. Game 4 goes to Denver and Boston. Boston has a 3-1 lead. Denver tied up the series. The Atlanta Hawks lose in 5 to the Boston Celtics. Denver takes a 3-2 series lead. Dallas forces a Game 7. And the Denver Nuggets are back to the NBA Finals for the second straight year. And the third year in... how many years is that? Third time in 6 years. So they play the Boston Celtics, who have Kevin Johnson, Winston Garland, Mark Aguirre, Armin Gilliam, and Felton Spencer. The Nuggets are Doc Rivers, Joe Dumars, James Worthy, Charles Barkley, and Brad Daughtry. Interesting NBA Finals. And let's jump in here. Here we go. The Nuggets at home for Game 1. They have home court advantage, leaded by 4 after 1. Boston has taken the lead at the half. Back and forth we go. Denver down by 3 to start the fourth quarter. A minute 51, Denver down by 9. And that will do it. The Boston Celtics go into Denver, win Game 1, 121-106. Worthy at 35, 6 and 5. Barkley had just didn't want to show up. Mark Aguirre with 32, 8 and 6 in the win. But remember, that's how last year started. Cleveland won Game 1 last year too. On to game number 2. Once again in Denver, and Boston up by 11 after 1. Denver a good second quarter, but Boston still with a big lead. 15-point lead with 5 minutes to go. And Boston will take a 2-0 series lead over the Denver Nuggets. Barkley with 29, 7 and 5 was not enough. Garland with 31, Aguirre with 25, 6 and 7, and the Celtics with a 2-0 series lead. Now, Dallas had a 2-0 series lead as well. Denver went on the road to tie up that series. We'll see what happens in this one. In Boston, after 1, Denver with the 3-point lead. Back and forth in to the half. Denver still with the lead. A 4-point lead with 6 minutes to go. Back and forth in the fourth. Now a minute 16, Denver with a 3-point lead. It's now a 1-point lead. And 23 seconds to go. A 3-point lead for Denver, and that will do it. Wait. Yeah, that will do it. 2-1 series lead for Boston. Denver wins on the road. Barkley with 22, 8 and 7, 19, 9 and 5 for James Worthy, 19 for Daughtry, 25 and 7 for Garland. Aguirre had a good game, and on to game number 4. Once again in Boston after 1, Denver with a 6-point lead. Boston has taken the lead back, and now Denver has taken the lead back. Back and forth we go into the fourth. 4 minutes to go. A 10-point lead now for the Nuggets. A 12-point lead, and that will do it. The Denver Nuggets have tied up the series 29, 7 and 9. 3 steals, 4 blocks for Worthy. Barkley with 24, 12 and 8. Daughtry with 23 and 8. Mark Aguirre with 29 and 10. And the Denver Nuggets did the exact same thing in the Western Conference Finals. They do it here. They lost their first 2 games at home. They won their next 2 games on the road. Boston had a 2-0 series lead, and they've blown it. Now, Game 5, back to Denver. And after 1, Denver with a 2-point lead at the half. They have a 3-point lead. And now into the fourth quarter, Boston has taken a lead. It's a 4-point lead for the Celtics. Now 8-point lead. Oh my. Denver fell apart in the fourth quarter. And it's 121-116. They just don't have enough. 127-119. The Boston Celtics go to Denver, and for a third straight time in Denver win. 28-8 for Mark Aguirre, 24-9 and 4 for Robinson. What a series. This has just been... No team has won at home. It's bizarre. Well, we're headed to Boston now, where they can win another NBA championship, the first in a while. After one, they have a 12-point lead. A huge second quarter from Denver, though. A huge third quarter from Denver. Boston coming back. Now down by 5. Now down by 4. Down by 1. 46 seconds to go. 99-98. Let's jump into this one. 99-98. Denver leads it by 1. 46 seconds to go. Denver does have possession. They'll pass it into Dumars. Dumars on the right wing. Gets it to Brad Daughtry in the post, and he lays it up and in. A 3-point lead for Denver. 37 assists for the Nuggets as well. 39 seconds to go. Boston will bring it up, down by 3. Boston, oh, what a pass. Spencer with the dunk. And the Nuggets lead it by 1 now. Joe Dumars will bring it up. Full court pressure from Boston, 28 seconds to go. And now Boston will foul with 26 seconds to go. I hate this glitch, man. 26 seconds to go. Denver up by 1. They'll pass it in to Grant, and he will get fouled. So we will head to the free throw line. Grant hits the first. And the second is up and good. So a 3-point lead for the Denver Nuggets here in Game 6 in Boston. No team has won at home in this series. Wild. Boston will pass it in over to Garland. Garland will hold it. 20 seconds to go. He'll get a screen. Garland drives right, puts it up. Good. Nice mid-range jumper there. And that will cut the lead down to 1. Denver will pass it in, and they turn it over. Oh, no. Johnson with it. 8 seconds to go. They'll kick it back out to Garland. 1-point game. Denver in the lead. 2 seconds for 3. No good. The Nuggets barely hold on. And we have a Game 7 headed back to Denver. Woo! A huge turnover gave Boston a chance to win the NBA Finals at the buzzer. And they missed it. So Game 7 in Denver. And they just crap the bed at home every single time. Oh, now they're coming back. It's a 5-point game in the third quarter. This series has been bizarre. 6 minutes ago, Denver with the lead. Now a 7-point lead. Under 4 minutes. They still have an 8-point lead. 11-point lead now with 1:52. And Denver's going to hold on to this thing. 16 seconds to go. 109-101. Let's jump in. 3 seconds on the clock. 2, 1. The Denver Nuggets are NBA champions once again. They win it at home here in McNichols Sports Arena. 109-101. Back-to-back NBA champions, the Denver Nuggets. It's their third in franchise history. They finally win a home game in this series. And they are once again NBA champions. James Worthy, Charles Barkley leading this team. 3 titles in 6 years for Denver. Barkley won the first Finals MVP. James Worthy won it last year. So we'll see who wins it this year. But this Denver team, man, they just keep winning. 3 NBA titles for this squad. Barkley will receive the trophy. Wow. The Nuggets are 3-time NBA champions. That's pretty cool. What a turnaround for Barkley, by the way. 3 titles. Michael Jordan has none. James Worthy, though, won Finals MVP. 25 a game, 6 boards, 5.7 assists per game, 2.3 steals per game. So James Worthy, once again, is your Finals MVP. That gives him 2. So a great career from Worthy. I mean, I don't think he's like a top 10 player or anything. He didn't really do anything in the regular season. Neither did Barkley. This is just a really good team. Barkley, I mean, has an All-Star MVP and a Rookie of the Year. But, or no, he doesn't even have a Rookie of the Year. Never mind. So, It's just a really good team, man. Worthy and Barkley, just a hell of a duo, I guess. Both 92 overalls, but they're both getting older. So the Nuggets run probably coming to an end as we enter the 94-95 season. But next episode will be a fun one because the last season of next episode, Kobe Bean Bryant will be drafted. And I am very excited for that. Hope you guys enjoyed, though. Hit that like button if you did. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. And I will see you guys in the year 1994.